If you've ever placed a bet on the size of an upcoming rate cut, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Us betting stock degens are back for another day of live trading. We are going to extract some money from the market. 13's in the back, chomping at the bit. Good to see you, folks. Let's roll.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Good morning and happy Tuesday morning to all of you, especially all of you Atlanta Falcons fans in the dirty South down there. You must have absolutely loved last night's game. Kirk Cousins and Drake London really getting it done for you. We have a day full of trading here. We've got some news with Intel. We, of course, are just kind of waiting for Wednesday for, is it going to be 25? Is it going to be 50? What is going to happen? We're going to discuss that here today. And in order to do that, we're going to bring on 13. 13, how are you today? I also just took a sip of my tea.
Yep, had to clear the Volcos. I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's go ahead and get it. I'm going to start here with the chart for SPY. Let me go ahead and bring that up here. All right. Now, first thing to note, new all-time highs printed here in the pre-market. New all-time highs, I believe, let's see. High of 565.16. We printed 565.58. That other one was 564.84. So yes, we did print new all-time highs here in the pre-market. Some people don't count that when it comes to, sorry, let me do that. There we go. Some people don't count pre-market prints as those all-time highs, but that did happen here. We are higher here in the pre-market. It actually looks like we're going to take off. If we take a look inside, pretty good formation here, right? We've got higher lows. Sure looks like we're kind of testing this 565.5 area. We'll see if we end up going through that. So that's kind of what's going on here this morning with the SPY. As you can see, we're above the trend line. We're butting up right against these all-time highs. So 13, what do you think about the SPY here and the action that we're seeing?
So we were looking at a close underneath 563 Friday and yesterday. So it's been trying to push through that level for the past couple of trading days, and we're getting it in pre-market now. So I'm going to want to see what happens at the open if we are going to end up opening above the all-time high and create a gap, or if we're going to come back in to 563 and open down in that area. So I'm waiting to see what happens with that. I can tell from the price action in the pre-market, we're trying to push higher into a higher region of the 565 handle. Been rejected almost three times so far. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I'm waiting to see, is if we're going to push higher and open and gap up to the open, or are we going to come back in and narrow that gap? Now, if we do start trading up in the regular session beyond 565 and 16 cents, I don't have any particular level except for just this trend line that I started drawing back in October, and that could end up taking us into the 566 handle. If you turn around and go lower, I'd be looking at 561 and 559 for support.
Okay. Tenzin saying maybe new money is coming. And this is really the thing, right? Like if we do break into highs and new money, I don't know if this is going to happen. I still am of the camp that the market really needs to pull back, as a lot of stuff is overvalued. But Tenzin's bringing up the very real point here. If we do break into new highs, does that draw in new money and facilitate a rally higher? Even if we're not expecting that, we'll be ready for that, or we'll at least be ready to analyze that. So we'll see. A lot of stuff happening this week. Dennis said it great right as he was finishing pre-market prep. He said, all eyes are on the Fed. And that is exactly right. If today is anything like yesterday, we might have some plays here right out of the open for the first hour and a half, and then it might dry up. And if that's the case, I think the best recommendation that I have, if things really start to dry up, just wait it out, because we know we're going to get volatility either maybe even later today and certainly tomorrow. No point in forcing a trade when stuff is just kind of being boring. And then another recommendation from our happy hour, or another, maybe not a recommendation, but another mention from our happy hour, on days like we've had where the market just really kind of dries up and doesn't trade a whole lot, doesn't really feel like a lot's happening. selling options, I think it was credit put spreads. Is that what he said?
I don't remember the exact type, but just the premiums trading is much better in the slower trading days.
Yeah, basically the concept here is, let the degradation work for you on days when things are boring and not moving. Just collect that cash. So a lot of stuff to still be done here. We'll go ahead and take a look at it. Let's go over the movers, and then let's go over stocks that people want to take a look at today. Motion, I see that you mentioned Mara. Yes, we can take a look at that. Let's roll through our movers first. Okay. Congrats, Ryan, on hole-in-ones at Lake Forest Northbrook roadside putting greens. I haven't made any of those. The only hole-in-ones I've made are in mini golf. And so I'm looking to graduate and move to the next level, Sydney. Not sure what you're referring to there, but I appreciate it. Okay, let's talk about some of the movers here. We're going to start with GLMD. This is the one that's at the top of the list here today. Galmed Pharmaceuticals, this popped as high as 7. This is moving on regaining compliance. That's basically what the headline is. It has multiple volume pops here, and although it's bled off some of those highs, we're still up 39% here. You can see after the close, they regained NASDAQ compliance. So that's what's going on here in GLMD. 13, I know that you're going to mention this, so might as well just start with the float. We talked yesterday about what's low float. This one appears to be micro float with a 624,000. So 13, what are you thinking here?
Well, yes, part of regaining that compliance was the process they went through, which was a reverse split. They did a 1-for-12 on the 30th of August, so that helped push their the price of their stock back up by that consolidation of the float. Float now at 640. I'll get the number right. 624,000. So yes, like you said, micro float, very easy to move around. Got a number of levels that we can take a look at. With this one, it's currently at 540. Above that, I have 565 and 640 until we start getting into the 7 handle, which really, it's supposed to really take off because of how much it's dropped in the past. We're just trying to get our way out of this consolidation channel that we've been in since last year. So that's what's going on with GLMD. Other than that, there's no news that's pushing it. It's just that NASDAQ recompliance.
Yep. So we'll see if this gives us a trade here. Real quick, Dan, I'm sorry, might embarrass you a little bit here. We are in the presence of greatness. The best call for any football bets that I saw all of week 2 came from our very own Ripon DT here. Did not give me permission to talk about it, so I'm not going to, but I will say I talk a lot about different bets. I share a lot of bets with a couple of different football groups that I have, and the best bet that I saw all weekend came from Ripon DT. So Ripon, keep it up, man. You're doing real good stuff there. Absolutely love it. And by the way, if we ever get a betting or sports podcast started, you folks will be the first to know about it. We'll bring on all types of guests. Okay, let's get back down to brass tacks here. The next one on the list is going to be ticker SES. SES AI shares are trading higher after the company announced collaboration with NVIDIA, Caruso, and Supermicro for AI for scientific initiative, to accelerate material discovery in electric transportation. So getting an AI PR here on SES. We did pop as high as 160. We've retraced about 60% of the move, but we're kind of trading sideways here right under VWAP. This is one of those that really kind of sets up for a potential volume expansion above the VWAP key level. That might give us a day trade here, ticker SES. What do you have on this, 13?
The float on this one is much, much larger, 169 million shares. So this is not going to be as easy to move around as some of these other ones that we were looking at, or that we normally trade. This could be another case like Lumen, where we could see some intermittent pops throughout the day or maybe in the morning. But for the most part, this thing's just going to be a very slow mover. It's going to start leaking down in the regular session. Maybe get some some dead cat bounces on the way down, but I think with how large the float is, this isn't going to give us as many good trades. But if it sets up and it looks like it's starting to get that volume expansion, that's when you'll know that there's going to be something that might be worth trading at that moment. But I wouldn't be buying and holding this throughout the day. I think this is going to be one of those that's going to be hard to trade. One point that was interesting about this was that it does have a 4.8% short interest, which is not that big, but the days to cover is 28.26. It's almost a month that it's going to take for this to cover, because this does not trade a lot of shares on a daily basis. A lot of that float is not moved around. So there could be, some of those pops could be met with some very short-term squeezes, but I don't think it's going to be too significant. This is not going to be one that I'm going to, probably put too much faith in, just because of how big the float is. If it provides trades, of course, we'll take them. If not, there's going to be others we can touch.
Okay, sounds really good. I do want to go back here. Clancy from our Twitter viewers here, really appreciate you giving us a little bit of context there. We were just talking about GLMD again. Sorry, I'm going back to GLMD here. We had mentioned how this had regained NASDAQ compliance. Clancy here mentioning PSNY, which is Polestar, has recently regained NASDAQ compliance and has been running like a freight train. So really quick, if we type in PSNY in here, we take a look at the 15-minute chart, you can see exactly what Clancy is talking about. Now, I forgot, what day was this? How long
that
has
was
this moved?
yesterday.
This was yesterday. Yeah. So this was super recent here. Let me go back to the what happened to my chart here.
There's a couple of things going on with PSNY. Well, I can get into that real quick when you're done.
Well, yeah, no, we can definitely come back to this, because this is, I mean, look at this 15-minute. Like this is pretty sweet. I know this came from penny stock territory, but the reason that I wanted to highlight this is because I do this all the time. I look at news and I compare it to something that I saw that was similar, and I kind of go from there. So Clancy, I appreciate this. This was a really good mention. We can come back and cover Polestar here in a sec. 13. Let's keep running through this. So we talked about SES. We talked about GLMD. Guess what? Wheeler is back. All right. So if you didn't have enough fun with this last week, you are in luck. It is setting up for us again this week. We popped right out of the open. We came back in. We're actually testing the VWAP here. We'll see if we move through the VWAP and get a setup there. Volume not as high as it was yesterday, but it is starting to increase here in the pre-market. So we'll see if we get that carried over. I don't have anything new in terms of a news catalyst, so it looks like it's just kind of running on delayed or continuing momentum. 13, did you have anything new to update here on Wheeler, ticker WHLR?
No, I still think this is the same movement from the catalyst that initially moved to last week. I think it was last week we started trading this. Maybe it was a week before, but just to reiterate, they had that case that ended up going in their favor. But another thing that's going on with this as well is that they have a large short interest. So there's also a squeeze element happening here as well. You have 32.5 of the float shorted, just 1.5 days to cover, which isn't much, but it's helping the amount of the float shorted is helping lift this further up. So as long as that keeps going, and it provides some trading opportunities, we're going to trade this. But if it starts to look weak, then we would probably want to avoid it at all costs, because this thing is run like crazy. Yeah, really extended. Like I said, I mean, look at the formation we have here. 15-minute chart. Again, I understand that this is extended, but to your point, this could get rolling again here, and it maybe like a 1025, 1030 break here could send it. We're as high here recently as $15. So there's definitely some more space in that range. Okay. With 1.59 million shares in the float, it's going to be one of those easier to move ones, not unlike the SES we just talked about.
Yeah. Awesome stuff there. Okay. Next here is going to be RLMD. This is Relmada Therapeutic shares. Relmada Therapeutics. RLMD shares are trading higher after Jefferies upgraded the stock from hold to buy and raised the price target from 350 to 13. So we're getting a huge price target raise here, but on top of that, we're also getting a re-rating here. I kind of like this catalyst. I don't know where. I don't think this is going to go to 13 today. Remember, these analyst ratings are generally 12 to 18 month recommendations or timeframes on where that price can move. But this definitely bullish. RLMD definitely going to be on the list here. Frankly, we kind of made a double top here, just shy of 4. I wouldn't be shocked if we take all that out and then test 4 here today. Price currently at 375, VWAP currently at 363. I think that this one could provide an opportunity here. No position on any of these movers. We're going to use the opening print to examine it. 13, what do you got here, RLMD?
I didn't really cover this one. It's a big price target, raise from 3.5 to 13. I'm not sure where they're getting that from, because look at the balance sheet. They're in need of cash. They're going to be losing that much each quarter. So I expect that they'll do an offering at some point here. The float is also 29 million shares. It's a little bit higher than what we'd like to see in order for it to be easy to move around. Still, if it provides some trades, that might help. Oh, here I can see that this company filed to sell 250 million of mixed securities shelf. So that's coming. So you can anticipate that. And then you also have a couple of the directors are buying shares as of last week. Looks like 140,000 and 13,000 respectively. So there must be something going on here to have the insiders start buying. And I guess that we already figured out the issue with money. So I don't know what the catalyst is here. If there's trades and this sets up, we're going to trade this. I just don't know what what they're seeing. Maybe there's some piece of news that I just don't see immediately.
Well, they are insiders, so they would know before it is made public. I will say all of this so far that we've looked at has looked pretty good for RLMD. No position here, but this all looks pretty good. We'll see what happens here today. Okay, next, here we go. It is time to make Christoph happen. Christoph, talk about talk. Christoph, you got it, boss. Let's do that right here. Of course, we're talking about ticker TALK. This is Talkspace. Talkspace shares are trading higher after the company announced it partnered with Amazon Health Services to increase awareness and discoverability of its services. Okay, that I haven't gone through the PR here. That does feel a little bit kind of, I don't know, fluffy, whatever you want to say. I'm not sure how much is if there's any more details about the partnership here with Amazon Health Services. Regardless, stocks up 20% here in the pre-market. We've actually got a really nice pre-market formation here. You can see people were buying this yesterday in the regular session prior to today. Volume in the pre-market here looks pretty good today. And we'll see if we get up towards this 244, 245 high and take that out. Maybe we can pop above that. Frankly, what I'd like here is a pullback towards the VWAP and a hold. That would give me confidence that the stock is going to move higher and we can take a alongside trade off of that. So we'll see what we get here on Talk. 13, what do you have on Talk?
Well, just what I'm seeing right now, it seems like this company is on the verge of profitability. Their balance sheet looks pretty good. They have almost 115 million in cash, so there's no question that they're going to be just fine. Incurring losses from time to time, but it seems that their income statement is showing that revenue is increasing quarter over quarter, while their net income is starting to turn positive. So maybe next quarter we see that first print of net income being positive. Other than that, short interest isn't really high. The float is 128 million shares. The company has almost 60% of institutional ownership, so that's a good sign. It seems like this might be one of those that could end up being a good longer term hold. I'm not suggesting anybody just pick this up and start holding it, but it seems like this company's on the right track to profitability, and it could end up doing well, especially now that they're partnered with Amazon Health Services. As far as levels go for today or trading it today, don't really know what we're going to get out of this. I mean, it's up almost 18%, and but the float is really large. So same with SES. I'd be concerned about the float providing enough robust trades. But at the same time, this company is on its own pretty interesting, and it looks like it could end up doing well in the long term.
Interestingly enough, literally as I stopped talking, this thing pulled right to the VWAP, actually cracked it a little bit, held, and is bouncing from it. Now, not pre-market trading, not really my thing, so I'm not in this, but giddy up. It's good to see that. Let's see what we get here out of the open. So real good stuff there on Talk. Okay. I almost can't even believe it, but we are going back to the hot system. That's it. The rebels are there. Hot popping again here. This went above 130. Hot therapeutic shares are trading higher after the company announced preclinical results for its investigational Alzheimer's drug. HTALZ. This just does kind of feel like a rehash. I'm not sure if there's actually anything different. We've seen Hoth quite a bit here. I don't really know if there's much that we have to go over here, 13. I feel like we've covered this quite a bit. If you look at the 15-minute chart, your levels should become abundantly clear here. One that I'm going to be looking at is going to be 125. We're currently at 119. Otherwise, I'd maybe look at 135 and then 150 right above that. Downside levels here, $1 is going to be the big one. Dead drop there, 90 cents.
Announced preclinical results for its investigational Alzheimer's drug. So I don't, my news isn't loading right at the moment, but
all good. Tenzin saying it here. It's basically rehash bull.
Yeah.
And that is what it feels like.
So yeah, I guess just be careful with this, because if this is old news, then this stock, this movement could go cold real fast, and you don't want to be on your tauntaun because it'll freeze. So just be careful with this one this morning, because it could end up going cold on us pretty easy.
That was so good. That was so good. I had no idea that was coming. That was so good. Okay. All right. Real good stuff there. We'll see what we get on Hoth. They're saving mice, says Webcoin. Tenzin saying, no, ain't no one curing Alzheimer's. So Alzheimer's, really, really terrible disease. Anybody that knows somebody in their family that has it can tell you how terrible this is, how sad it can be. If Tenzin is right here, and if there isn't, ever really a cure, companies are still going to work towards treating this and helping people that are affected by this. That's not going to stop. And on top of that, when you get some of these news and when you get some of this data, if it's good, the stock that it's tied to, if it is tied to a stock, is going to react. So even if you're in that camp, there might still be trades to have here. Just kind of keep that under your hat. Lynn saying, I'm bag holding Hoth. It's a piece of crap. Lynn, don't need to disclose your bag price. Hopefully you get a pop here and you get to unload some of those bags. I will be cheering for you if that's the case, but I completely agree with your very astute assessment. Piece of crap. Well done. Well done there. Okay, I think that's it. Jivo, VVPR.
We were asked about VVPR.
I think it was VRDN that we were asked about, wasn't it?
Pretty sure.
Whatever. Let's cover them both. What the hell? We got time.
Okay. Well, with VVPR, this one was like kind of toward the top of the movers list, just because they're merging with another company. I didn't read too much into how high this could go as a result of the merger, but it does have a 2.74 million share float and 15% short interest, but the days to cover isn't very high. That's about as deep as I went with VVPR, because I felt that there was going to be a little bit more digging in order to figure out what kind of price this would end up being as a result of the merger. So I don't really have levels on this one.
Okay. Amanda, I'm very sorry to hear that you have COVID. Rest up. Hopefully it'll be better soon. My brain feels like that of a Bears fan. So you should be sharp and ready to go, because that's how your resident Bears fan feels today. And actually, I felt like that yesterday. I know it wasn't a victory Monday, but I still felt pretty good yesterday. Just kidding. Hope you are well. Hope you get better soon. Okay, a couple of stocks that I did want to talk about. First of all, Daddy Backstrap. I know you're excited. We're gonna go for it. Ryan, how about that Palantir trade? I'm still in it, but I just sold bull put spread, so my gains are capped at 20% of risk. Awesome. Awesome that you're still in it. You took an unlimited profit butterfly, right? So I don't know if it's unlimited. Butterflies are generally not like that. They have a capped profit gain, but I only took a single butterfly. I didn't take one on the upside and one on the downside. The butterfly that I took was the December expiry. So today, 94 days till expiry. It is the 40, 45, and 50. This is the one that Anne-Marie gave out a week ago on Tuesday. So December expiry, 40, 45, 50 are the strikes there. Remember, we're waiting for that price to move towards the body, which is that 45. This had an upgrade at Bank of America here today. This is going to be added to the S&P, I believe, next week. I don't know the day off the top of my head. Forgive me. If the chat knows, go ahead and throw it in here. This has been great. And when this goes to the S&P, fund managers are going to buy it. So I'm feeling pretty good about this trade. Yes, I am in this. Yes, I am excited. Anyone that also took this and is happy about it, you will get an opportunity to tell Anne-Marie how great she is later today when she joins us. 30 seconds till we start?
Yep.
Boy, we ran out of time fast, guys. Sorry about that.
Hey, no problem. One last thing. Hey, Intel, how about that?
Intel, yeah, that's the other one I wanted to cover.
With Amazon, we kind of talked about how this could be a possibility with the CHIPS Act. Sure enough, they're eligible for up to $3.5 billion, and they're also getting work from military and collaboration with Amazon. We can go into more of that later. Let's have this market open and see what we can trade. Here we go.
Okay, Intel high looks like it might be in, by the way, and also we kind of got some resistance here right at that gap. Okay, we're open. Let's do it, folks. Let's trade them well here today.
Looks like Wheeler's going to start moving out of the gate, trying to recapture VWAP. Let's see if we can do that. VVPR and GLMD and SES all down into the open, so we might see some movement up to try to get recapture that VWAP. I don't know if they'll recapture it, but they're going to try to move up towards that direction. So far, getting some of that movement with GLMD and SES. Looks like VVPR struggling.
Real quickly here, SMSI. This got mentioned earlier. I think this was by Crimp Biscuit. This one, I actually tried to play this when this stock was like $5, and I took a loss on this. I did like it back then. One of the real smart guys that I had followed really liked it. The trade simply just didn't work. I had to take a loss on this. It'll be interesting to see if this goes to $1 territory. That being said, though, I kind of pushed this off the back burner. And
there's GLMD. So there's one down. SES going lower. VVPR still sideways. So far, GLMD has been the good one. Trying to get back. It went right to VWAP, got a little bit above it, trying to hold above it. I don't know if it will. This has been a big rejection area for the price, given the if you look at the pre-market action, 2 or 3 times it was rejected at VWAP. In the pre-market, and
here we go, pulling away from that now. That was a really good call there on the way to VWAP. And we're actually going to test come right back up there. Also worth mentioning here, I don't see it yet on the
look at you guys.
What's that?
Our chat's awesome. Look, they're giving out the tickers. Here we go.
Yeah, dude, I'm well aware. We do have an amazing community. I mean, don't sleep on it. Tell your friends about it too, because I'm telling you, this community is really awesome. PSNY, this is another one that we talked about. Good morning, Market Sniper. It's great to see you. We talked about this one earlier. I think it was Clancy, if I got your name correct. You had mentioned that this was on a huge run. You know what? You had another stock that you wanted to talk about. This would be a good time to tie that together. Let me go back and grab that here. It was Clancy. I did remember. FTCI, I'll go ahead and shout this stock here for you. It is a penny stock. We don't spend a whole lot of time on this. This is going to be a solar name. Looks to be starting to make a compliance as well. Might be starting a run towards compliance as well, but Rivian is a play that I have most confidence in and should start to climb from here. We've talked a lot about Rivian. Frankly, until they stop losing $1 billion a quarter, I'm probably not going to swing this. The day trades on Rivian, though, have been outstanding. So good mention there from our chat community again. Okay, let me go back to the intraday here. GLMD did push above. Look at that.
Yep, and SES going down further. Wow, here we go. Okay, so GLMD, about to hit it. One of my targets here is 640. Next one I have is 750. There's a pre-market high of 732 that we're going to hit first. After that, 750. After that, $9.
Okay. GLMD, pull it. The high there is going to be 635. There's a little bit of size there. They pulled it right off that spot. I think they might bring that back up there. We'll see.
ASTS just absolutely.
There we go. There's 638 right here on GLMD. Let's see if we go higher here. They're trying to hit that size that's there. They're refilling it. I don't know. We'll see if we go higher.
They're 638 is the high. So just on the doorstep of 640. Man, looking at SCS, that thing went down to the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. And then you guys are mentioning ASTS. This thing is absolutely getting hammered. Might get some support here. This is also trading beneath the 200 EMA on the 5-minute.
Okay, good stuff there. Look at Tesla. First of all, the other comment that I wanted to mention, Chris, the fact that you're playing hockey Tuesday morning, super jealous. Hockey is my first love. That's awesome. Hope you have a great day here. Hope you played well today. All right, Tesla. the chart that's really kind of catching my eye right here out of the open. Look at this power move on Tesla out of the open. This is kind of a reversal of what we did yesterday. See if we come back in here on Tesla, give a tradable area.
That's a breakout of 232. Breakout of 232, yep. and that could end up being where the price comes back underneath, and then it might not get it might not hold above there. And if it doesn't, then I'd be looking at 226 as support. We could come back into that. Now, this is the first
Look
time.
At Wheeler. Ooh.
This is the first time since Friday that we've been above 232. And the last time that we were up here, we came right back in. So if we hold 232, that could that'd be really interesting, because we haven't held that level all month. Looks like we lost it last month.
Real quick here, I'll take this all day. I swear, the best channel ever, even better than the paid ones. That's exactly what we want to hear. That is absolutely awesome. We want to have a free channel like that, and we want to provide value that you folks can use. So this is going to motivate me all day here today. Motion, really quickly. I know we ran out of time here. You wanted us to take a look at Mara. Here is Mara. By the way, Bitcoin up here today, 2.25%. It looks like, yeah, 2.25% there on the Bitcoin futures chart. As far as Mara goes, this one has been kind of the better trader with Bitcoin momentum. 13, I'd be interested if you have any levels here, because these levels kind of they don't really seem to hold or provide a whole lot here. 1886 seems to be the next really big resistance to the upside if we keep going. But keep in mind, we are currently in a near-term downtrend here on Mara.
So let's see what I get with Mara here. Looks like getting back above 18 is going to be a bit of a chore. There's some EMAs in the way. Let me look at a chart with some lagging indicators here real quick. And, as I always say, when it comes to some of these Bitcoin names, just watch what Bitcoin does, because you're going to get the movement, from in the stock. If the Bitcoin's, moving up or moving down, it's going to be the same thing with those stocks as well.
Yeah, and I think Motion, if I recall correctly, Motion has been day trading Bitcoin a lot. Really quickly, while you're getting those levels, IMRX popping here. Chat's all over it.
IMRX.
IMRX, yeah. And one more thing to address here. Chris saying, careful with this comment. They'll start charging a fee for our 1 or 2 hour gift that we get every day. I can dispel this real quickly here. As far as I am aware, there are absolutely no plans to start charging for our YouTube content. It is what we do alongside our subscription business. So I don't think you have to worry about that. GLMD popping and trying to go higher. Did you have levels you wanted me to do on Mara here real quick, 13?
I'm just kind of looking at them right now. Here's what I'm getting with Mara. It death crossed late last month, and this is not an oscillating one. This is, the golden cross was back in December of 23. So we could see some more downside in Mara and Bitcoin. Now, if we don't, then I would expect, and Bitcoin starts trading back up, I would expect Mara to not only recapture the 20-day SMA, which it's trying to get back above and has been since last week, but also to recapture the 50, which I currently have at 18.18 at the moment. $17.50 looks like a pretty specific resistance level. When I draw that line there and look to the left, seeing some pretty robust price action at that area. So it's going to take a lot of volume to get back above 18, in my opinion. So that's going to be one of the things to watch for. But again, Bitcoin's going to lead the way with this one. So if we start to recapture 60K, then you might also get that that $18 recapture in Mara as well.
Okay, really good stuff there on Mara, guys. I almost can't believe it. Jay Rice, I saw that you mentioned this earlier. Who's ready for some Mullen? Another 1 for 100 reverse split, right?
Oh, really? Jeez.
Here, calendar splits 1 for 100. It's Jay. You were on this earlier. Oh my God. Look, this is all I'm going to say on Mullen. If you guys are able to trade this for gains, good luck. I'm not going to. I'll just tell you that right now. I'm not going to. Jay also mentioning that traders like cores more than Mara. Here is your cores chart. We take a look at the 15-minute chart on cores. You can actually see we've really kind of broken out of this level, haven't we? Kind of coming back up here to the top end. Let's see if we take this out. Here are some levels here for you on cores. Big breakout we're looking for here, going to be 12.27, maybe 11.5. We'll see if we get there. And then the all-time high there, about $15 on cores. So I haven't traded this one. I don't have familiarity with this one. I have traded Mara and Riot plenty. Okay.
LMD still making new intraday highs.
Sure was.
732. Got to get past this wall at 672 and 680. A couple of sales order walls there. But if we get through that, then we're in we could be in 7 territory, where we have been getting some resistance. You can look in the pre-market, see that we have not had any close over in the 5-minute chart anyway, over $7. So that's going to be a rejection spot in the short term.
Okay.
All right. Looking at these other ones, looks like Wheeler might be coming back in. Watch for a loss of VWAP. It's getting down there to test it. So it could be
ALLR. I just had up there. I clicked off of it like a dummy. This actually might be curling off the bottom.
Saw that was moving this morning as well.
We have a pretty decent distance here to the VWAP 2 on ALLR, if that's going to close that down.
Yep, get a nice 50-cent move there between here and the VWAP, from at least for my VWAP. MACD also showing that it's curling. So let's see if it can get back above 380. That would be my first level, and then after that 410, and then VWAP.
GLMD here above 7 now and ripping.
Boom.
Man, I'm actually disappointed. I'm not in this move at this point.
It's going to halt. That breakthrough 7 was big, and there it is, halted. Looks like 750, 732 to 750 is next. So ASTS, after it broadsorted into the ground like Excalibur, now getting pulled out of the stone and trying to recapture.
Oh man, we got Sword in the Stone, King Arthur references there all over the place. Here we go on ASTS. This is actually a pretty impressive reclaim of the VWAP.
Yeah. That was a great mention with B-Bio as well. That got up to 27.47, now losing VWAP at the moment, but that was a great call for the upside move out of the gate there.
Talk really kind of came back in, although watch this if this reclaims the VWAP real close there on Talk. Givo is going higher. IMRX, this is actually kind of consolidating higher here. If it continues to do this, I think that this could really kind of challenge yesterday's intraday high.
His upper shadow is not looking great. Still above VWAP though, so that's the positive going for it. Wheeler really starting to come in now. Currently trying to get some support from the 65 EMA on the 5-minute.
Oh my God, look at that JDBI. Look at that recent IPO. Look at yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
We were talking about this one. I mean, dude, 39 is $1. I mean, look, sometimes I'm just glad that I don't trade stuff like this. Because if you were dollar cost averaging on the way down, you're wiped out today.
You know, Webcoin, that's hilarious that you were just looking at ZNTL, because I was just looking at it too, and had a nice 15-minute move from the open to 402. I think the open was about 375-ish. Nice move.
This actually looks like this might try to go here.
It's the volume's really drying up on this one fast. I would want to see
curling.
I'd want to see some more volume expansion on that one.
Yeah, no, I would too. We did decent volume pop out of the open here. SES curling. Let's see if this can get back to 129. 106 is going to be your low print that it's held so far.
Yeah, I'm not sure about SES.
Smita saying, I bought yesterday at 4 and I'm losing now. So I understand trying to play a bounce off something that's moved like crazy, but always either do it in size where you can afford it to keep falling. If you're trying to catch that knife, understand it could cut you. Hopefully you're able to make your way out of that one. Sorry, easy for me to say. My goodness.
There was a mention earlier that Bitcoin was looking bearish. It's certainly behaving that way. We're starting to roll over in Bitcoin. Could end up losing 59,000 here if we don't get some support at that, right at that level, at that handle. If we lose 59,000, then I'd be looking at about 58 and 670 as the next potential support level.
So Bitcoin came off those highs. You're right to that 59K level. By the way, Microsoft just moved to the highs on a volume pop in here. I didn't see anything. Microsoft shares trading higher if the company raised its quarterly dividend and announced a new share repurchase program. That was from earlier today.
Yep. And that dividend was nice. This could end up being $500 next year.
Talk just crossed the VWAP. Talk has offers out 225, 227, 229, 231, every 2 cents on the odd cents. There's some pretty decent size offers out there on Talk. See if this continues to move higher and take out some of those areas from the pre-market. Here we go. It's going right to those highs on Talk.
Looks
Carmen,
like
you on this one?
Looks like SES is trying to push up as well. There's some stiff resistance around 120, so be careful there. IMRX still above VWAP.
DTSS popping here.
Ooh.
This was on news too. New 5G AI multimodal agreements have already generated 9 million.
And it's halted.
Here's your press release, and that is halted. DTSS. Wow. Richard says, I sold Talk at 7 decades ago. Well, it's at 2 now, so good job there. 1 up? Question mark?
Oh, yeah, Christopher, how about the movement in Disney? I was watching that yesterday.
What happened? Did I miss something?
Well, because I've been on this for a little while that I wanted to see a recapture of 90.50, and we got that. And we're also talking about how some of their business segments like Marvel and Lucasfilm are starting to make changes so that their content is better. So some of those changes are helping turn this around, but there's also some of there's a blackout period of ESPN and ABC.
That's a direct TV thing that just got resolved, I think.
Yeah, so that's also helping with this as well. There's just a couple of things going, leading to more upside with Disney. Things are turning around, and it's also been super beaten up. Plus, it seems like we also have a bit of a inverse head and shoulders. It's a little skewed, but it I would say it still looks like that. An inverse head and shoulders on the
GLMD. I'm sorry to interrupt. GLMD is ripping here. It went right to the resistance. It's now broken the pre-market resistance. This also lines up to this was Friday's pre-market high here. GLMD. If you guys are in this one, please tell me you paid yourself on the way up here. If you're going to keep a trailer on in case this thing goes absolutely ham, that's great. Huge move here. Again, 13. I tried to wait it out there, but man, this thing just did a dash right to that area and snapped it.
That was perfect. It was right to where we were looking for that resistance. It was between the pre-market high and 750. We got 746. It's right in the middle. So that's great. If you sold there, you did pretty well. Now we're getting a push back up. So let's see if we can have the price take out 750. And if it does, I'd be looking at 9 as the next upside target. And
with no position here for me on GLMD, I have to wait this out for some type of pullback. Hopefully we get down close to the VWAP here. That'd be absolutely awesome. James asking here, Ryan 13, IEP for a dividend play. Thoughts? Do you have IEP? Icon Enterprises. You know who we should ask about this is Stay Focused. The next time we see him, we should ask him about this. If I take a look here at the dividend, I'll try and give you a little bit here. 23% yield.
Is it really?
Yeah. 23.39% yield. Paid out quarterly. So that is a high percentage. This is actually at the high end of the range here. So here's what I'll say about some of these high dividend payers. Stock daily chart doesn't look great here. What do their financials look like?
They cut their dividend
recently. Is that a piece of news that I didn't?
Well, when I look at because I'm pretty sure you look at the calendar, right? And if you look at the dividends, it used to be twice as much as what it is now. It used to be $2.
Yeah, but the yield is what I'm looking at.
I got that. No, I understand. And that's the yield's going to be higher because the price likely went down.
Yeah, and it did.
Yeah.
James, this is interesting. I'm sorry I don't have more on this. Let me reach out to my group. Yeah, here we go. Smita saying the same thing you are. Don't buy. They had a dividend cut. It was $2 per share.
Yeah. So then I look at their income statement. There's some really big concerns here with that as well. You know, it's a great dividend. There's no denying that. But I think when I look at the other financials, I get a little bit more worried. How much are they spending on dividends? Okay, so they don't.
Oh, dude, let's go. Sorry.
What's that?
I said that to myself.
Bros.
I realized I interrupted you.
Oh, no worries.
It's
yeah, yeah. So IEP, you know, we'll look into this one some more, but the initial thought is what is going on with this company to where they had to slash their dividend and they're not making money, or they're not having a positive net income. They do, you know, over 2.5, sometimes 3 billion a quarter. But to have nothing to show for it, it's like, what's going on with this company? So I need to look into this some more. Thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing this up. I've become more and more into dividend stocks recently, especially if we get any type of correction or down market. Safe dividend stocks that continue to pay a dividend might be a very easy way to kind of weather that storm, if you will. So I'm definitely interested, even if it's one I don't know about. Really quickly, though, here's Bros. Now, remember, we talked about this being a swing trade. It was looking a little hairy. We first talked about this reclaiming the 200-day. And then filling the gap. It actually kind of pulled off of that, but didn't break down. So I stayed in the trade. I actually added to it a little bit. Then we reclaimed the 500 to 200 day. Now we're up here at the 50 day. You can see we've actually reached this area. The gap technically doesn't close till 37. I said that my price target when I wanted to start selling this was about $35. We are only a quarter away from closing here on Bros. Let's go. He's this position up 53% right here. So if we keep pushing up here, we're going to start closing this swing trade. This one has been good.
GLMD trying to push through 750. It's getting up there right now.
God, what strength.
And it's the strongest one so far this morning. There we go. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, Ray here. I appreciate this a lot. IEP is Carl Icon's fund. That's why I suggested stay focused. He seems to have some more information. I'll ask him. I don't want to put him on the spot. I haven't asked him about that. It depends on whether what their trades were for the quarter. So he's giving you some of the thing behind the thing here for IEP. Definitely something to look into. Lion Atlas saying it was 50 years ago and you get a $2 dividend, you still lost more than 60% of the value if you held there. So
anyone play the pot stocks for the long term? If yes, have you looked at HITI? HITI?
No, I do. I want to, because I believe that the United States has been so offsides on cannabis for so long. But I will say that this was like my first dive into the market on my own with my very first account that I had saved up $500 to open. And I thought I was going to get rich playing weed penny stocks. That obviously didn't happen. I'm interested though, Carmen. I mean, I'm interested. What's the deal here? And actually, let's see. Let me see.
They just had earnings yesterday. They are profitable.
Okay, I don't have. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you know, it's so here it is. Here's what the play for me is on the cannabis stocks. I want something that's, you know, actually going to be able to go to a bank and be able to do transactions there. You can't really do that with cannabis companies in the U.S. at the moment. I want something that is going to benefit all cannabis companies and even, you know, independent growers. So I like SMG as a cannabis play. That's, you know, it also pays a dividend. You know, I know that there's some, you know, has some issues, but at the same time, I think this is a great play with a great dividend play for the cannabis segment. Has lots of institutional ownership. It's got pretty decent liquidity. This is the one I'd want to go with if I'm going to be doing anything on the cannabis side. Is I'd want to do some the fertilizer company, Scott's Miracle-Gro, SMG.
Okay. IMRX, by the way, yanked hard, went right through the VWAP like a hot knife through butter, and it is resolving lower. Say again, SES?
Yeah, Wes mentioned SES, and that one, it looks like it's going to 120. That's the next upside target I have. And after that, then VWAP would be next. But let's see if we can recapture 120.
Look at SMSI here. Not SMCI, SMSI. Vast discrepancy in the prices of those two equities. SMSI pulling back, didn't quite get above 1. This might not be done, though. Maybe keep that on your list here in case we do make another. Here we go. Are we back on? Trading back on here? Yep, looks like we are. And then real quick, Jay Rice mentioning there are some fades in the semis here today. I think someone was shorting these earlier. I can't remember. It's been a lot going on here. Can't remember who it was. But it looks like market did pull back from those all-time highs that we printed here in the pre-market. Here's AMD. Look at this fade. Look at this fade, Jay. Are you on this? Are you on this short semi train? Avago, same deal. Marvell, same deal. Although somewhat muted compared to the other two. Here's NVIDIA. It's already trying to bounce.
Let's see. RFID asking about why is RLMD going lower after the Jeffries upgrade? And we talked about this one, I think, briefly, and I was kind of questioning how it's or what the Jeffries is seeing that's making it change its price target from $3.50 to $13. And I didn't look at any enough news to understand why that is, but I did see that they filed to sell $250 million worth of mixed securities. So with that coming up, still their need to raise cash, because you look at their balance sheet, you can see that they need it. I would think that maybe the stock does behave a little bit more weekly. That's with an A, because it's going to have that offering coming up, and maybe the investors don't want to be in this until that offering happens. That would be my guess. Usually with upgrades, yeah, you're right. You tend to see some more bullish movement, but it seems like we already got all that in the pre-market, and they still have that offering looming. So maybe there's just a reduction of risk that investors are taking with this because they don't want to be caught in this when that offering comes out. That would be my guess, though.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Real quick, looks like a volume pop here on Cleveland Cliff, ticker CLF. That makes a lot of sense to me. The one thing I will say is that was, again, remember, that was those price targets and those ratings 12 to 18 months. So it's possible that they're aware of whatever type of capital raise that company needs to do and still have that price target on there. I would say keep that on your watch list. If you don't want to buy it and hold it, or if you can't make an allotment for that risk, keep it on your watch list and at least watch some of the news flow. If that offering gets out of the way, that might be your trigger on that. That might pop it. To Crow's point about SMSI, the whole reason for this move here today is they withdrew their offering, I believe.
So
they
there you go.
withdrew it,
no
and
dilution.
this stock moved higher on that because
No dilution.
no dilution. Yeah.
Yep.
And look at the volume. Actually, we're still getting expanding volume here in SMSI. If we hold this VWAP, actually, I know I don't normally trade penny stocks. This one looking pretty decent. I wonder if we hold here and maybe get some buying volume on the back side of this. This could make a move back towards those highs, maybe even $1 here.
Carmen, thank you for the info on SMG. I'm just curious with that roundup. That's on the Forever Chemicals issue, right? Or is there something else that's going on with roundup? If you wouldn't mind help me out with that. You guys mentioning GLMD. This is okay. Well, it just made the new intraday high. It's now $7.79. Trying to push up some more. I still have $9 as the upside target, so we have to go to 8 first.
Oh my God, GLMD. I'm pissed I didn't trade this. This is the mover. Whoever's in this one. You're going to get the trifecta of sound effects there because, wow, this was the trade of the day here.
13. Day 13 now. Trying to, it looks like it's trying to go into a halt, but it keeps moving a few seconds later. So if it pushes up to 9 real fast here in this current candle, we might get the halt then. What a great mover this was.
Yeah, this is monster. By the way, SM. Oh my God, just the curse of the commentator. I'm afraid SMSI here, big time non-hold at that VWAP, plunging here. We'll see if it holds this area low 80s. Crow, if you're still trading this, I'm assuming you traded this on the way back up. But if you're still in this, or if you're still looking at this, I'd love to know what your plan is here. Jonathan says, I called the bottom on my chart and I didn't go in. So this happens to me. This has happened to me quite a bit. This has actually started to happen more since I've been hosting this show. I'll say this. Don't get discouraged, because if your process and if your analysis was correct, you're going to be able to apply that. You might have missed this one, but there will be another opportunity right around the corner.
Take notes on that. Put it in your journal. Make sure you know the next time that you see this, you don't miss out, because if you identified it correctly and you saw everything that you expected to happen, you got yourself a winner. You just didn't execute. That's the only thing. If you've got this dialed in, the execution is the only thing that you have left. Great job identifying that. I know you'll get the next one.
Beach Bum Trading. Shout out to Beach Bum. Look, you have created a pretty awesome life. You are a beach bum and you also trade. So it seems to me you probably don't have a lot of bad days. Good to have you here. And thanks for all your support.
IMRX pushing over VWAP now. RFID mentioning Oracle hitting VWAP resistance. Looks like Wheeler's coming back. Look for another test of VWAP here. VWAP is I have at 947, trying to push up to there. Yeah, I think you guys are right about GLMD. There's just not a lot of buyers up there at 8. But let's see if it can get some support at 750. If we get support there for the next, let's say 15, 20 minutes, that might be enough to help lift it up higher. So let's see what happens there.
Congus asking about PLTR. How we doing on Palantir here? Okay, sold off out of the gate. Okay, so we sold right off to yesterday's consolidation area on Palantir. That was 36, and we're holding there so far. You know what? This is a fairly popular trading stock. I think maybe you're just getting some people kind of selling the news here. Stock's only down less than 0.5% here. I wouldn't be worried about this. I wouldn't be worried about this. The trade that I have for Palantir is a swing trade. So these types of movements are not necessarily going to shake me out. I'm looking for 45 on Palantir, and I have until December to do that. So I'm doing okay here on Palantir. If you're going to day trade this, it does look like we held 36. This was the consolidation area from yesterday that we broke out and away from. So maybe we bounce from here on Palantir. But this pullback right out of the open, honestly, this doesn't work. This is actually good as far as I'm concerned. This seems healthy to me.
RFID, your Oracle VWAP. I don't know what your read is on that. My VWAP is 168.09. So we haven't really touched it yet. We've gotten close, but we haven't really interacted with the VWAP this morning. And
which ticker?
This is Oracle. It's been under VWAP pretty much all morning since we opened. So when we do get that test, I'm not sure if it'll necessarily reject. We might end up recapturing it as soon as we start testing it. That's something to watch for, especially with the MACD starting to curl. I'd be curious to see if we end up getting that or not. But I have VWAP at 168.08.
Tom, great question. If Palantir comes into your target range of 45 well before December, do you sell? The answer here is yes, because remember, with the butterfly, you're dealing with options, and you're dealing with options that are decaying. So I would rather this happen. I don't have the chart in front of me, I'm trying to visualize the profit grid. Yes, I would like this to happen. If that happens, in 3 weeks here, I'll be fine. And if I still want to have some exposure, I'll take some of those profits and roll it into a new position. If I feel like, again, the body of the butterfly is 45, so that's where we want to do the selling. If I feel as if the stock is going to continue to go higher, I'll take some of those profits, maybe buy some upside calls or sell put spread on the other. I don't know. I would open up more exposure to Palantir at that time. But for the current trade that's on, yes, the date, I'd actually like it to get there before December. That's a good question, Tom.
The GLMD is now printing a high of 842. So we're still in the 8 handle, still looking good. Looking for 9.
What a rip out of the gate. What a rip out of the gate. And now I'm looking at this and I'm trying to take our own advice here, 13. And I'm thinking to myself, what does this do or what did this stock do to really kind of signal that this was going to be the big runner of the day? And I mean, the thing that I'm looking at here, first of all, we have a decent range, right? We have that range carved out by the pre-market, but we had, as soon as the market opened, we had big time buying volume. And I mean, big time buying volume. Then we consolidated a little bit at the VWAP and moved higher on that same volume. That right there should have been the trigger for me. Buy here for me is likely going to be right around 640. We're 2 points higher than that. This was a monster trade here today. I'm going to try and take what we identified here and then apply that to setups going forward.
For me, this was one of 3 that I was looking at because they were all 3 underneath VWAP. They were all kind of lower heading into the open, and this one was the one that I started focusing on after it recaptured VWAP. I had mentioned that it was trying to recapture VWAP and much of the pre-market. It was getting rejected. So as soon as it recaptured that and held, that was a signal for me that this could end up move up some more. Now, I wasn't expecting to get up to the 8 handle this quickly, but after that recapture of VWAP, that was the important signal for me and to where I was more comfortable trading this.
Okay.
The other ones have not fared as well at all. Like SES went down, hasn't really come back up, couldn't even get back to 120. VVPR, same thing. Down out of the open, not able to recapture. So between those 3, SES, GLMD, and VVPR, that's the one. I was looking at Wheeler too, but I don't know about Wheeler doing a whole lot of crazy things. It did recapture VWAP, but it also lost it. I just don't know about Wheeler. This thing has been moving so well for so long now that I would feel like trying to go long might ended up being a bad move. It's got to pull back at some point.
Yeah. Real quickly here, DTSS, we mentioned this one earlier. Let me try and find that here. This actually holding right at its VWAP. Yeah. This looks pretty decent here, DTSS. Data C shares trading higher after the company announced it entered into an agreement with some Chinese company I can't pronounce, an IT company, to supply a range of advanced multimodal services. Gosh, I'm sorry, folks.
Yeah, GLMD got as high as 875. And
SMSI might be curling. Watch through 85. They're going back to GLMD. Sorry. 13.
No worries. And this thing, I think I'd be done trading at this point, GLMD, just to wait and see what happens. We're a little bit extended away from the VWAP. It's had a great, past 15 minutes getting up this high. Need to see some cooling off on this one. I'd be out here and wait for the next setup if there is one to form. Looks like Mara's coming back as we are getting Bitcoin. It went underneath 59,000, recaptured it. Now we're moving back up. Watch for 59,500. That's the level it needs to get to break out so we can get to 60K. We can't get up there and capture 59.5. Could end up going back down.
Accenture dipping here on volume. Midday. Let's take a look at some of these other pennies. There's SES really kind of at the bottom. RLMD, that's curling back towards its VWAP. Sorry, 13, what was that?
Okay, I'm glad everybody everybody that's trading GLMD in the chat is seeing the bearishness.
Oh God,
yeah,
DTSS.
Nice.
That went. I didn't take it. I'm missing trades here today. I did really, really well yesterday, and I am not. I'm having an opposite day here today, but it's okay. I'm not going to get frustrated.
Are you losing?
No, I'm
Okay,
not. But I'm
good.
missing gains, and I don't want to do that. No, I'm not.
Ryan, this is the SATs. If you don't take any trades, you're not losing.
Okay. This DTSS. This was who mentioned this earlier? Naaman, sorry for mispronouncing that. This was a great mention, man. We had that impulse move. This thing was just chilling here at the VWAP and now has pushed higher here. That VWAP hangout, that was 277. We're 40 cents higher here. This was monster.
Yeah, wow, look at that thing go.
Hey, Jay Walker says, yeah, I'm just leaving for everyone else. Exactly. Glass half full. I'll take that all day. Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't need your trades crowding us here.
Fairchild with an Office Space quote. You'll always get props for that, Fairchild. Well done.
BX all-time high. Private equity likes lower rates. KKR too.
Blackstone and not the griddle.
All right.
That DTSS, man, that was good. That was good.
GLMD still trying to, it's in the next candle now, but it's still trying to push up. I'm not trusting this one though. A little bit too extended, needs to cool off. But if it holds 750, that could be interesting.
VSAT puts, this guy is buying 4,500, 13 puts. I don't know if I see a trade there. That's interesting though. MLGO being mentioned here in the chat, question mark. Let's take a look at MLGO. I believe that's a penny stock. Do with this as you will. I'm okay on this one. GLMD did look like it finally found some resistance. I'm with you, 13. Let's get a pullback here to VWAP and reset this baby. Should be able to trade it.
I'm just taking a look at MLGO to see what the appeal is here. I see a bull flag forming.
Bitcoin reversing its price and going to highs. That should mean good things for Mara. This actually helped. So 13, your recommendation earlier just made a trade here on Mara. You said, watch Bitcoin. Bitcoin started to ramp. Look what Mara did. Curled off its bottom right through the VWAP, buying volume that's now expanding here. That was good.
Yeah. I was just mentioning about how it lost 59K. It recaptured it. Now we're going higher. We wanted to see 59.5. Get taken out. It did. We're trading above it at the moment. Let's see if we can hold it. If we do, we go to 60K in my opinion.
Tommy asking, are Blackstone griddles any good? I was thinking about buying one. Yes, they are absolutely spectacular. I bought a tabletop one that's only 28 inches from Costco for like $150. Like it was so cheap, but the full size 36 one's just as good if you got room for it. I will say this, like, it is easy to use. It's easy to season. Cast iron is the way to go when you're cooking stuff. It is the way to go. And having a griddle, in my opinion, is better than a traditional grill. It's simply more versatile. You make your first big country breakfast on that on a Sunday morning. That's good times, Tommy. That's good times.
ZNTL, that was getting mentioned earlier. I forget by who. I think it may have been Webcoin. But this one has been trading very nicely all morning. Up the high is 424 after opening down in around 375. Also getting a mention that GLMD is going down, folks. What do we see here? We seeing that bearishness? You guys all called it in the chat. You know what you're doing. You guys absolutely. We need a register ring for our chat. They absolutely killed this.
Ask and you shall receive, 13. We can give register rings out all day. That makes me happy. The sound of that makes me happy.
I mean, we identified when it was starting to look weak, when to get out. We got out at the right time. It's starting to go down. Next step that we want to see if we're going to continue trading this is to hold 750. So need to be patient and wait for that to happen. But great job, guys.
Intel looks like after that news that we got in the after hours, we've pulled off that high pretty significantly. It is curling here. We'll see what happens at the VWAP. I don't know. This DTSS, tell you what, you're going to get, I already forgot the gentleman's name, which is really unfortunate. Naman, you're going to get the trifecta, including Chewbacca's approval here. This was awesome. DTSS, this was an awesome call. You were on that. Look at the volume expansion too. We got the impulse. This is my favorite, right? You get a nice little impulse move and a VWAP trade right around that area. And then the volume just expands to a new level here. And that is your move higher here. This was great. Pissed I missed that.
Yes. Jonathan Cooper, good mention there. Fed speak. We have the Fed's Logan speaking at 10 a.m., which should be underway right now. Somebody wants to double check that, but I believe that's what you're referring to. Fed's Logan is talking. So bust out the Wolverine clause. Logan is talking.
Fed speakers. We have he is?
I had that on the calendar for 10 a.m.
I thought we have a blackout period.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought too, but it's on the calendar, so that's what I'm going.
Yeah,
on.
no. Okay, so that hasn't been updated for the blackout period. Fed blackout period is SEP 7 through 19. You're not going to hear anything from the Fed members until after the rate decision tomorrow.
That's kind of what I thought. So I was a little confused when I saw that on there, but I think that's what he's referring to.
You know what? I think what's happening here is that I'm thinking internally. Let me see if I can make that a little bit more accurate for you there. We are in a blackout period, though, confirmed.
GLMD.
Let's see, we did get these numbers. We got the retail inventories and the housing numbers here.
GLMD down to 750. Do we get the rebound here? That's the next step we're watching for.
Damn, I wanted this closer to the VWAP here. Let's call it 715.
So we'll see if we get this rebound here. It's the volume's not looking very great, so we might end up going lower.
Whoa, what's going on in Uber? Whoa, Uber at highs on volume too. What's going on here? I don't see anything here. So, yeah, those are all articles. Is a sympathy going here with Uber? Let's check Lyft. What's Lyft doing? Lyft also at the highs, but not on volume. Uber's the one that's moving on volume. Does anyone know what's going on here with Uber? Expanding Waymo. Yeah, but I don't think that was new, Carmen. I saw that too. I'm just not sure. That's true. I'm just not sure that's what's doing it. Maybe rumor James. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I just noticed the volume pop here. This is and this is, this is a bigger stock. Interesting.
Yeah, that's the only recent news that I can see is that Uber and Waymo are partnering in Austin and Atlanta. But I think that's old news, though.
That's what I was saying. I it's true, but I think I'm surprised that would cause it to move right now. Anyway. Tenzin saying their freight delivery day last week. I ordered a large pizza from Uber. Jay, isn't it like 7 o'clock in the morning there? You ordered pizza at 7 a.m. I mean, look, I'm not going to criticize that. Like, that is massive amounts of heart right there. Pizza in the morning. I'm surprised in Arizona that there's a place delivering that. Yeah, Carmen, it's old news, but it's the only news, at least that we can find here. I'll see if I can find anything else. I don't see anything, though. Okay. Well, that's a joke. I know, Jay. I'm trying to joke with you.
All right.
Travel and leisure surge in hopes of a 50% rate cut. I guess you could be right. You're saying Disney's higher there. I don't know. I like it.
Oh, did somebody pick it up?
I don't think so. I think she's joking. I think Carmen's joking here, but I mean, look, if Pelosi's loading up on there, you can probably guess there's more highs coming. We'll just leave it at that. Glenn giving us a price target on Bitcoin 61,100.
AST is looking to recapture 30. Talk, you guys that were on that one, it's still looking like it could get up to 245. Not sure what it'll do after that. GLMD still looking like this one's going to be headed lower. It's losing 750 right now.
Remember, it's that 712, 715 that we want to see if we hold there. 13, I need to step away for 1 sec. I'm going to leave GLMD up. I'll be right back.
All right. And how are some of these other ones doing? Looks like Wheeler just kind of going sideways, thinking about testing VWAP again. Bitcoin near 60K. What is a time frame for disclosure? It's usually a month. Because I think it's 30 days that they have. Somebody, I mean, maybe we can ask Ryan when it comes back with the exact days, but I believe it's 30 that they have, 30 to 45 to disclose. So like Zim doing pretty well today after the drop out of the gate. Mara still going higher, trying to get back to the intraday high of 1638. Good morning, Rustum. What's DTSS? That's a mover right now, is what it is. This is a let's pull this up here. I'll tell you exactly what they do, but I think this is off of the agreement that they entered into with this Chinese company. But they basically do internet security products. Apple trying to hold 216. Please check with Lilium is climbing. I am up. Okay, so yeah, the thing with Lilium that I keep coming back around with, wow, this is up in the 80 set handle, so that's nice. Also watch Mara. This is starting to move again because Bitcoin's on the verge of crossing 60K. So with Lilium, you know, the float is really big on this one, and I'd like to see this reverse split first before I get back into this. But you know, maybe that maybe it recaptures $1 and doesn't need to do that. Still, at the same time, float's really large, so big moves up, you're not going to see that happen too often because of the supply that you have there. But as far as this going, I like this company. It's one of the more interesting VTOL companies out there. I like this one in Archer the most. I like their actual eVTOL product they have. They're already getting orders. It's looking like it's going to end up doing you know, really well when these become more mainstream. But for now, the thing about this company that I do not like is the size of their float. I really do think they need to reverse split. Analysis on PLCE. I believe that's Children's Place, right? We were trading this one last week. How's this one doing? Oh, well, this one's up again a lot. What's going on here today? So looks like it's about to touch 1490. That's a resistance level I have. We're looking at Children's Place right now, Ryan.
Oh my God. And that's at 14. We were talking about that last time at 10.
Yeah. And help me out with this one. How long do these insider buys have, or even these government traders have to report their new positions? Is it in like 30 to 45 days?
I think so. Yeah. I think it's right around a month.
Okay. So there's your answer on that.
What?
No, it was just to help with somebody who was asking that question. Not possible to have 23% short and 0 days to cover.
Yeah, I've got 9.27 days to cover. And 53% of the float shorted. I have vastly different numbers. These were updated on September 11th.
Yeah, and that's a big short squeeze candidate, and we're getting it right now.
Yeah, this is for sure a short squeeze candidate.
Great stuff. Did not see this one coming. Well, it's because it wasn't moving in the pre-market. Active stake.
Swivel selling off here, down 21%. Wolfpack issued a research report here. This was 7 minutes old. Appears to be a few breaths away from bankruptcy. Ticker SWVL, down 20% here, halted to the downside. Second halt of the day.
So for Children's Place, there's a active stake filing that came out yesterday after hours. So this is, I guess this just didn't get noticed because it's a 55% active stake. This could end up moving over multiple days. It's possible with something like that. Yeah, Children's Place may be a mover going forward here. Might squeeze a lot of shorts. Good point, Jonathan. All right,
We've had some pretty good moves here today. I feel bad that I've been late on them, but we've had some pretty good ones here for the group.
Yeah, it looks like GLMD is trying to turn around, which would be great because we were looking at 750 as a potential support area. Oh man, it's trying to do it. What a great stock this has been today. Just well behaved. Love those well behaved stocks. Yeah. Okay. Talk is over 2.4. Great stuff. And here we go with GLMD. We're trying to go up higher. Need more volume on this though, so I don't have a whole lot of conviction on this upside move. We need to see some more volume pour into this. So I don't know that we're going to go right back up to that 875 level. It may be lower than that, possibly something like maybe run into a problem of trying to recapture 8. So be careful with the GLMD.
Well, we didn't quite get down to that. I would have felt so much better about actually trading this if we had printed or got within 5 cents of that VWAP. We didn't, and here we go, bouncing again. Mm-hmm. I might just not be my day for some of these smaller day trades, which is okay. Again, having a great day in the swing account. Oh, Portillo's.
Word has
I'm not used to saying that. Sorry.
Word has it the sun will come up tomorrow. So yeah.
Yep. That is confirmed.
Wow, man. Zim just sold off this morning down to 1842, and then since then it just turned around and went right to 1903.
Glenn, that was a great call, by the way, on Bitcoin. I know that took out 60,000 right there. It is going for 61. I think your price call was 61.1, right? 61,100.
Man, what a move in Bitcoin.
What a move is right, dude. That happened on volume too.
Yeah, that 59K level,
yep.
that was the buy for those Bitcoiners, and they just took this thing straight up. Hope everybody's having a great time in Mara, CLSK, and all those Bitcoin names.
Yeah, shout out Motion. Shout out Motion for asking about Mara early, way prior to this run.
Yeah, my BITO ETF doing pretty good.
So let me ask you about that. Did you get paid out on any of those dividends? Because I think this pays like a 20-something% dividend.
I believe I did. This is,
it's an ETF. We don't have that data in here. Damn.
I don't play crypto directly anymore. I just want this ETF. This is
gotcha.
This is all this is my exposure to crypto is BITO.
The bear is feeling feisty, but you know what? The bear has earned it because the Vikings are 2-0. The only 3 things are for certain in life: death, taxes, and Sam Darnold. I can't agree with this because he said the word Sam Darnold, but his Vikings are 2-0. My Bears are 1-1. And until that changes, the bear is on top and has the right to talk.
You Children's Place holders and traders are still loving it because we got as high as, what is this? It's 1540. Guys are killing it.
Look at this Children's Place. Oh my God.
let's see.
Oh my God. I mean, if this can this really break 15.5 and go higher here?
Well, let's take a look at a longer term chart and I'll tell you. Okay. So we're silver crossing today on the daily chart. We are trying to break that high from Friday, which was 1543. We're on the doorstep. As far as where this goes, if we break that, let's start with 1650. See what happens if we get there. The problem I have with this is that on the daily chart, we are super extended. RSI is 75 and a half. That means that this could be the day where we could just keep running into some higher prints, but then this is going to be the high for a little while until we get some support from a previous level and come back in. The RSI is really extended. We need to cool off.
Sorry, I'm just handling something internally right now for work. Right with you, folks.
2023 gainer, Nikola, now North American leader in clean energy. So I know that company still has a lot of baggage to unload with that one, given how much of the fraudster the previous CEO was. I have been trying to pay attention to some of these hydrogen plays, and I do understand that Nikola is in a good spot to benefit from hydrogen vehicles, like fuel cell vehicles. So let's, I don't want to poo-poo Nikola, but it's got to get some company issues out of the way first. But I think they are in a good position for energy infrastructure and hydrogen infrastructure and hydrogen vehicles. Just need to see some execution from the
damn dude. I'm sorry I missed this one. Newegg. Newegg posted on X, we're thrilled to announce that Newegg Business is now authorized partner with Dell Technologies. As your trusted technology partner, Newegg Business is here to offer extensive product range, expert guidance, competitive pricing, and superior support. You can see Newegg here, although it is a penny stock, it popped pretty good on that piece of news. Generally, when I see things like that, I'll call them out here for the group. This was tradable. Sorry, I missed that one. Sorry, I missed that for you, folks.
What on earth happened to this company that is now under $1? I remember, gosh,
I know.
this one.
It's got to be debt, right?
Let's see.
I mean, I feel like 13. How many years have you been ordering, or decades maybe at this point, have you been ordering computer components from Newegg? I feel like I've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah, gosh, I've ordered some parts from my current machine from there. I ordered parts from my last build. Yeah, I mean, it goes back at least a decade with this company, maybe even longer, maybe almost 20 years, like you said. Yeah, if I can't find things on Amazon, I tend to go here.
Yeah, same. And before Amazon, I was ordering entire computers worth of parts from Newegg prior to Amazon. Anyway, all right. What am I missing here? What are you guys looking at? You guys look at ALLR. That one was on. I did see that one earlier on the relative volume scanner. It fell off, though. What's going on with this? Okay. It looked like this was going to curl and then knifed down. I mean, to me, this has got to confirm some strength. I don't see it yet.
Yeah. It looks like it's starting to curl, but I need to see this get back above 350 first.
You got Brandon, you're asking about talk. So this one was really good. This got mentioned earlier. I think it was Namir. I cannot remember that gentleman's name. I feel so bad. This was mentioned earlier, was a great mention here right at the push away from VWAP. It is continuing to go higher here. I'm not saying, you should, buy it here and it should go higher, but this move has been pretty good. Has been pretty good, excuse me. I do expect some resistance here, maybe 20 cents from where we're at in the 260 handle.
Yeah, I don't know that it goes too much higher from here. The volume's not looking great. 245 is the level I was looking at, because that was the after hours high yesterday. So we got there. We're above it by 5 cents. I see a whole bunch of sell orders from here, from 250 to 250 to 265. I think this is where you want to start being careful, or even maybe just take your profits and be done until this sets up again. But I don't know how much higher this could grind from here. But it's looking like it's slowing down.
SMSI really took the next leg down here. That's kind of disappointing. Hope you all are okay. Hope you're okay, Crow. LASC getting mentioned here in the chat. Remember, this stock does promotions on CNBC. I saw it again this morning. It's actually up 16% here today. Laser Photonics shares trading higher after the company announced it secured an order from the Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard and Intermediate Maintenance Facility for a defense tech laser cleaning tool. Okay, that sounds cool. I wonder what they're doing with that.
So they're probably getting rid of, because that cleans off rust, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of that with the ships, a lot of corrosion.
Yeah. Let me see what our bull bear prediction is on LASC. Folks, real quickly here. Let's see. Do we have one? Nope. Don't have one here on LASC yet. Well, that's so much for that example. I'll let you know when we get one. Lucy, mentioned by Jonathan. What did I type in incorrectly there? Innovative eyewear. Oh, those are the glasses that we looked at on Target that one day, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. So. What? Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Let's double check, because we should still see that in the news feed. Yep. There it is.
Webcoin saying, Lassie, it's not for teeth. Reading the description here, I'll actually go to it here. Reading the description here, integrated manufacturing company for photonics-based industrial products and solutions, primarily laser cleaning technologies. Its laser blasting technologies are focused on disrupting the sandblasting and abrasives blasting market. If your dentist is sandblasting your teeth, you might be in the wrong spot.
Or you're a robot.
Or
metal teeth.
A T1000.
Yeah, you're a T1000. And then when you leave the dentist's office, you'll tell them you'll be back.
Guys, okay, Webcoin saying it's just a joke, sir. Guys, how am I supposed to know this? How are you guys this looks like a serious question in the chat. Jay's earlier about him ordering a pizza was timely, and there was no winky face. How am I supposed to know that?
Because we wanted to see you just get completely into it, and it was great. We're all
and I'll keep doing that. I have no problem with it, but it's just like, I mean, come on.
Nope, you gave us exactly what we wanted.
I know. That's why I'm smiling and grinning from ear to ear. By the way, DTSS, this traded back up towards that VWAP. We were not able to get above it. So until we can show that we've got the strength here, I think the move on DTSS might be done. If this changes, we'll be in a new spot there.
So folks mentioning that Bitcoin had rolled over after hitting a high of 60,400, coming back in, also taking those Bitcoin names with it. Looks like we're getting some support at about 59,750, right around that area. So, and it's recaptured 60K. So this may try to trade higher. And if it does, I'd be looking at an upside target of, let's say 61.5. Let's just call it there.
Which stock are you talking about?
This is Bitcoin.
Oh, Bitcoin. I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to read here. I don't have it.
Okay. So I was, just trying to address the poll that we had in some of those Bitcoin names. So just wait for it to set up again. If it's looking like it's going to roll over, then I wouldn't worry about trying to get into trading this some more. But Bitcoin looks like it's on the rebound. Looking at a daily chart, it's got to get past 60,685. That would be my my thought on where it needs to what it needs to recapture. That was the high from last week.
Shaka mentioning Intel here. Intel, this did move off that low there. I didn't really see anything that kind of told me about that, Shaka. Grats if you're in it. I'm still curious to know what you folks think about this news long term. I think this is probably going to be good for the stock, but I still think the stock could hit 16 before it ends up going higher to 50, let's say. So I'm just not ready to jump in for this for an investment or a swing yet on Intel, but nice little move off the low if you're trading this intraday here.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a nice rounding double bottom on the daily chart. The problem is that when I look at where we're at right now, this has been a resistance area ever since it gapped down under 22. So we need to see 22 hold and get and start closing over that level, because I don't really feel comfortable going long here, even if it was just to trade it up to the 50-day SMA at 24.71. Still need to see this this level that we're at here get taken out, because it has been rejecting the price multiple times. So
from what I read on CNBC, nobody likes Intel. That might be the when to buy, right? The hold your nose and buy. I'm not ready to buy Intel, though. I shouldn't make jokes about that. Neon here, big pull on volume. It looks like it's trying to bounce. We'll see if it recaptures the VWAP on Neon. We have news for that? Nope.
looks like GLMD still inching its way up. Wants 9. But this volume not looking great. I don't know if it'll get there. Might get a quick pop and then drop if it does, but volume is not looking good in GLMD right now.
No, but it was encouraging that it took out this previous high and set a higher high, because now we have higher lows coming off of this pull. We still never made it to VWAP there, which was the disappointing part. Boom looks interesting. Robert Beach. Take a look at Boom. I mean, look, this is actually a pretty good move here. DMC Global shares trading higher after the Steel Connect issued a letter that reiterated a proposal to acquire the company for $16.50 in cash. Okay, so possible M&A here. Target price $16.50, current price $13.39. Damn, when did this news come out? I probably should have been on that a little bit earlier. It came out right at the open, or before the open, excuse me. Just still continuing to trade higher here on Boom. Nice job if you hit this. Appreciate you bringing this up. I should have been on this one earlier. Robert, I should have been on this one earlier. This was a good mention.
So why is Boom not accepting? They think it's too low?
But see, that could also be good for the trade, right? Especially if there's another company interested, because if you get in one of these wars where they're constantly trying to up each other, the stock is going to love that, and so is your account.
So Stifle maintains a buy and raised the price target to 19. They just had their earnings on August 1st. They're also getting a Roth MKM price target of 24. So maybe the Steel Connect offer is a little bit lowball in DMC Global's eyes, if they're getting these price targets that are much higher than that. So that's a total possibility. But I guess the other question is this company even looking to get bought out? That could be another facet of why they haven't accepted the offer. Maybe they don't want to be bought out. They're doing just fine on their own. Balance sheet looks great, to be honest.
GLMD new highs on a volume pop there. Wow. By the way, folks, it is 10:42 here. At 10:50, we're actually going to be sending it over to Zunaid for an all-access interview. Then we're going to be back here with Anne-Marie. We still have some more time to finish up here, but we will be doing that here today. And then we'll be back for some options trading. What did you say there? I totally ran you over there. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I was just reacting to GLMD. This was a big old... didn't really look like it was a big volumetric move. The volume doesn't look any different than some of these previous candles. Maybe this is a bit of a spread that happened here. But 925, the new high, And now I'd be waiting to see what happens next. I would think that this maybe starts to come in a bit after this move, but I don't know. I don't have levels that I've marked off beyond $9, but I will take a look real quick before we jump off here so I can provide those.
Rustam's asking, let me ask you something. Sir the 13, I don't know what that means. Do you have a winning strategy you use constantly, Ryan? Okay, I'm not really sure what you're asking. It sounds like you're asking me and 13 if we have winning strategies that we're using. Yes, a lot of them have to do with chart and technicals, which we really kind of cover here. Otherwise, it's basically for these day trading, we're looking for momentum scalps, more specifically names that have a catalyst in the morning that we can kind of clearly identify some of these key levels. So yeah, I mean, it's a momentum scalping strategy. The swing strategy is more story based, long-term based. I think that's what you're asking. I'm not sure though. You'll have to clear that up for me.
Yes. For as far as strategies go, it's not that my strategy for how I trade is very niche for me. So I don't know that it really works for everybody else, but I'll tell you when it comes to these longer term investments that I have that I'm holding these stocks for a year or more. Buy the weakness, sell into the strength.
Absolutely.
That has always been the winning strategy for me on that. And, absolutely doing some research on the company helps as well. But as Ryan said, you're also looking for the right theme at the right time. One of the reasons why I'm starting to get into some more UPS because that stock's been weak. It looks like it could end up being weaker, which would only be great for me, better for me because I want to get as cheaply as possible to get the most out of the dividend. But I just think that they're going to end up doing just fine in the long run, and I'll sell when they show some strength, maybe in the 200s. As far as GLMD goes, the next levels I have are going to be 1005 and 1050.
This has been a huge mover here today.
Mm-hmm.
Huge mover here today. By the way, shout out Becky Quick from CNBC, and I'll tell you why. I, for the longest time, every time that I see ticker APP, which is what is going on here, AppLovin, every time I see this, I cannot help but think of McLovin. Okay, there's nothing I can do. I've tried to put it out of I can't. Every time I see AppLovin, I think of Nick Lovin. And I was very pleased this morning to hear that Becky Quick admitted the same thing here on CNBC. So shout out to you, Becky. You're not alone there. I was actually embarrassed about that for some time. Didn't really want to admit that in public, but here we are. I don't feel as bad about that, thanks to Becky. So
and,
just saying.
So GLMD, we are approaching 1005 now. 987 is the current high. Holy cow, this thing. Not in this one at the moment. I was a little bit more cautious when we were getting over 9, so no trade here for me. But if you guys are in this, you're absolutely killing it.
I missed the first move here, which was the cross and consolidation and build above VWAP that led to the first positive move here. And then when I was alerted to this and I was waiting for it, we never got down to VWAP, and I never entered there because I was looking for a print on or really, really close to the VWAP. We never got it. So I've missed this second move again. This is kind of what I was saying earlier. I'm disappointed in how I performed here today, but the good news is that I haven't been booking losses.
And Lion Atlas, hey, I'm looking forward to it too. I love me my FMC. Also, April Fool's Poker says my girlfriend works for AppLovin. Hey, if you have any inside information you could give us, we would love it.
We would. I'm loving it.
Yeah,
that's what I wasn't sure where you were going with that one, but we did it. Oh, that's right. I didn't save my dividend workspace. Darn. But for FMC, when is that dividend? Let's see. I get it. I got it. Okay. I got it here. So this went XDiv. Where are we at here? XDiv, September 30th, and we get paid on October 17th. I'll be in Arizona that day.
Okay. RFID, I want to say best of luck, and I hope that works out. I haven't looked at PLC enough to know if that's going to work out or not. But hey, given the momentum you're getting in this, I wouldn't say that it's impossible, man. It's just this looks like it could keep going. But like I said before, I think one of the big concerns I have was the RSI on this, I believe. And let me double check. Yes, 75 RSI on LCE. So I hope the trade works out for you. Just keep in mind that this could pull back a little bit.
GLMD looks like it's going for 10 prints here, literally as we're speaking.
All right, well, we're about to hit it. 9.99. Are you out of your mind?
We out here today, folks. We just out here.
And hood up big last few days.
I can take a look at hood.
April Fool's poker. That was a good one. She's loving it. That's awesome. All right, GLMD 1009 is the new high. We hit 10, folks.
That's unreal.
We hit 10, and this stock opened down at 530.
Yeah, that's the move of the day, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, but Lion Atlas, look at the upside. She's out, has a great life, and is friends with Snoop Dogg.
You know what the most hilarious thing about that Martha Stewart thing is? I read, they asked her, what is the worst thing about being in jail? Do you know what she said? No lemons for the water. That's what what an absolute hard ass you have to be. I went to jail. Martha Stewart, how old was she when she went in her 70s or 80s? And they said, what's the worst part of jail? Jail, guys. Okay. Jail. We didn't have lemons for my water. She is more badass for saying that, straight up. Like, that is just unbelievable.
GLMD with an explosive pop to 1055. Well, hi, Zunaid. How are you?
Summoned Zunaid.
GLMD just go crazy.
What's going on, fellas? Happy Tuesday to you. It took a little minute to figure out what day it was, but hope y'all's trading day has been all right.
I personally, Zunaid, have not done great here. I don't have any day trades. My swing account is having one of the best days in several weeks today, so I'm good. I haven't made any day trades because I've been slow on the really good setups that we've seen, but the group here is absolutely destroying it. They are doing so effing good. So we're doing well here. How are you?
I'm doing well. On my trading competition account. I've got Robinhood calls, so I'm excited to see what their event will look like. Hoping for a little bit of build up there. But we're about to talk to Dr. Anne-Marie Sastry. She's been on with us many times. It's always a great conversation, especially in this space of AI and a couple of different things that they're doing as well. So I'm excited for that conversation. Ryan 13, appreciate you guys. Ryan, you'll be back here in about 10 minutes or so to talk to Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie, yeah.
Yep.
Bye, folks.
Take care.
Appreciate you guys. In chat, you know, we say this all the time. It truly is what we love to do. We like to give you the technical analysis on type of things, but we also love to talk fundamentals and talk to executives from publicly traded companies to see what is going on inside in their industry as well. And today, like I said, we've got a great interview lined up with Dr. Anne-Marie Sastry, who is the founder and CEO of Amesite. Ticker on the NASDAQ is AMST. All access starts right now. Dr. Sastry, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Zunaid. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's great to talk to you once again. You know, in this space of what you're doing in the school sector and the medical sector, I have some questions about that. And of course, in AI in general, it's always great to talk to you. For the folks that might not be familiar with your company, though, give us a quick overview of what is it that you do?
Amesite is an artificial intelligence software company. It's, again, always a pleasure to be here. We're NASDAQ AMST. We started in the higher ed market, rolling out a platform so that colleges and universities could offer professional learning programs. More recently, as you know, we've rolled into the medical space with a new healthcare app called Nurse Magic, which aims to meet the needs of millions and millions of healthcare workers who do not have support on the job. Burnout and turnover is rampant in the industry, leading to poorer patient care, poorer patient outcomes, increased costs, and loss of revenue for companies that are efficient. Nurse Magic solves that by putting AI right in the hands of workers to help them.
I was at dinner the other day and I had a friend who was telling me about not just a burnout aspect, but she also mentioned how sometimes patients don't tell you the whole truth. And so you have to go back to their charts to make sure that like, oh, did you take certain medication, medicines or whatever the case may be. And like, you want something that helps you track those things and makes it easy for the patient to relay information and for the medical professional to also see what's happening and give the best care possible to your loved ones. How big are these caretakers markets for your app though?
Enormous. There are 5.2 million RNs in the United States of America alone, and over 3.9 million home healthcare workers, and millions of other workers involved in all of these modalities of care, whether it's memory care, whether it's rehabilitation, whether it's home care. In fact, the biggest push is to move people out of hospitals and into home care because it saves costs and it generally gives better outcomes. The challenge is that healthcare workers don't have that on-the-job support. So some of the things you mentioned, learning to communicate with patients who may be ill themselves or poorly able to communicate or may not understand what is happening to them, family members who need help. The app actually has all of these different features that help a healthcare worker in real time, and including help in charting, which is the major pain in the neck for healthcare. Healthcare professionals spend over 40% of their time just documenting, which is not what they want to do. They want to be spending time with their patients. The Amesite Nurse Magic app can take 30 or 40 minutes of charting and turn it into a few seconds. There's actually a microphone right in the device, right in the app, that allows them to dictate what's happening. And there's even a method of improving the note, so they get feedback to improve the note. That has multiple benefits, a great triple bottom line, if you will. One, improve patient care, leaves better notes for the next shift, it leaves better narrative notes, leave better behavioral notes. So just better overall for the patient. Two, obviously cutting costs. Our ROI, we estimate, is about 15x. Spend about 2% of a worker's salary on an app that helps them with the tedious tasks and get back an employee who's 30% more efficient. 15x ROI, that's a no-brainer. And then third, driving revenue. 25% of patients seeking home care are turned away because there is no inadequate staffing in this industry. 50% of home healthcare workers will turn over in the first 100 days on the job. They need help. They need assistance. This app provides that.
I've got a doctor's appointment literally later today at 1 o'clock Eastern. And one of my biggest pain points is having to always fill out the forms, having to always answer if I'm allergic to this, or if my family has any history of that. So, again, it goes back to communication between, obviously you have to give permission, but that's so important just to streamline the process and not make it difficult for Americans to get the care that they need. You mentioned a lot of market pain that you're solving. By the way, we have some slides up, so if you want to refer to any numbers there, let us know which slide you'd like. But are there any other market pains that you're solving outside of the ones that you mentioned in terms of the market that you're after?
Oh, yes. The employment pain is one of the biggest pains. So the employment pain being turnover, it costs an employer roughly 16% of a worker's salary to replace them. So in the case of a frontline worker, that might be $2,600 to $3,400. And that's a cost that's recurring because 50% of their workforce is turning over. So it's impeding their ability to staff their current clients and also to gain new clients. Basically, this is such a crucial element of American healthcare that's being neglected because workers don't have the support they need. What have we seen? We've seen rapid adoption of the app. We were even a little sharp intake of breath, I would say. We rolled out the app in beta in April. The public version went out in June. Within a month, we had increased our enrollment by 830%. We now have users in all 50 U.S. states. Thank you, Idaho. And we also have users in 6 countries. We've partnered with social media figures, with influencers. It's been fantastic. We've been able to secure relationships with some of the most influential nurse influencers, and they've been talking about the product. So gangbusters. On the enterprise side, we have been gratified and surprised at how quickly we've gained support in the industry. We've closed 5 pilot agreements with healthcare corporations that do home healthcare and other home health services. And those companies collectively represent 30,000 employees in 41 states. Wow. So we believe and we anticipate strong quarter-on-quarter revenue from this app as it's rapidly uptaken. It's also an incredibly easy sale. It's an incredibly easy sale. We are not a strategic purchase. We are a tactical purchase. It's like an IQ test. Would you like to have 15x on a software purchase? Yes or no? Do I need to integrate my systems? No, you just give it to your employees. They put it on their phone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
really
want to go. And I think that's an important aspect of it, but I want to go back to also the, permission thing that I talked about, and we'll get to the schools and what you're doing there, because I think that's very important given what's happening as well. What is the sales cycle like given all the regulations, right? And the EHR, the EMR, which I believe is the electronic health medical record platforms incumbent in the marketplace. So what's the sales cycle like while you're dealing with that?
those companies have been slow to adopt AI, and they are legacy systems that don't always get big thumbs up. Our app gets 5 stars and loads in a few seconds. We don't need to integrate, and there are no regulatory barriers. You use a copy function to take your report and put it into whatever EHR you're using. There are dozens and dozens of EHRs and EMRs in addition to the challenge that you named, which is how do you integrate with these dinosaurs? Then there's another question of which ones do you integrate with, and there are dozens. In that case, we have sidestepped that completely by just putting out an app. We're a tactical purchase, very easy. Give it to your employees, see them become 30% more efficient at less than 2% of the cost of their wages.
Yeah. I don't think I'm a dinosaur, but I have learned working in the corporate field that the saying of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sure, it might be correct, but I think there's another layer of, yeah, things might be working, but can they work better? Right? Is there something you're missing out on in terms of opportunity costs that your business can be more efficient than it currently is? And I think that's important. Let's move on to the school side of things. How did your higher ed business kind of set you up for this pivot? And of course, I also want to ask you if there are any new products in the app, because I saw an article or two about this.
We did. Thank you for asking. And just to sort of amplify your point about dinosaurs and so forth, we've had our enterprise customers with Nurse Magic tell us we need this because we won't be competitive if the other guys have this.
Yeah.
So it's like there's not a choice, right? In a very competitive business, you have to have all the tools you need to support employees when talent is in scarcity. On the higher ed side, thanks for asking about that. We executed a pivot in January. We were closing higher dollar contracts with change agents. Principally, we're working with organizations that say, hey, we're really AI forward and we want to do this, and doing more custom work. And then we decided that since our infrastructure was so efficient and the incremental cost to us to deliver a system to a college was de minimis, let's just kill the setup fee. Let's just kill it. Let anybody use the system they want. We can bring them content. We can even hire instructors for them. And the response was very good. So we've had 7 deals close with community colleges around the nation since executing that pivot. We've had a contraction in our revenue because we didn't seek the high dollar. Instead, we're seeking breadth, and that's going well. Those colleges are all very different, have very different regional needs, and it's been building and building. Most recently, we signed Maricopa Community College through their MCORE professional learning programs. They are one of the largest in the country. So I think that our hypothesis is validated, basically, that we'll start with these community colleges and we'll get to the bigger and bigger and bigger ones. And that's what's happening now. So it's very exciting.
As a consumer, whenever I see an application fee, or if you're trying to get an apartment, there's an application fee. Whenever you're trying to set up a software, there's like a one-time setup fee. It's always kind of like, I have to pay you to help me. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you guys are kind of seeing the growth in, removing that part of it. Again, it goes back to your business was working. Don't broke, don't fix it, but you found a better way. And now you're seeing increase in revenues as well. Before I let you go, Doc, anything else that you wanted to talk about that I didn't personally get a chance to bring up here today?
Well, thank you so much, Sinead. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the good questions. Just want to say a word about the team. Yeah. We have reduced our headcount over the last year or so, or last 2 years or so, because we built our system. We were using some offshore talent. We've onshored everything, and we've cut our operating costs by 50% year on year, fiscal 22 to 23, and we anticipate further savings. So the team has executed the academic platform, increased the number of customers across the country, delivered up to 98% Norton retention on the academic platform while creating a completely new B2C and B2B app that's experienced rapid adoption while cutting costs by 50%. So we feel very, very excited about what's going to happen quarter on quarter for Amesite in the next period here. And I want to thank my team for all the hard work and really putting solutions that people need in their hands.
You know, a lot of people can have ideas, but it's the execution that takes a lot of teamwork and a lot of due diligence. So it's great to see the increasing revenues that are, you know, down the pipeline, and also you doing your job in terms of cutting costs as well. Thank you so much, Doc. I really appreciate your time here today.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much, Sinead.
You got it. That was Dr. Anne-Marie Sastry, who is the founder and CEO of Amesite. Ticker again on the NASDAQ is AMST. Thank you for watching All Access. All right, that was supposed to be the intro, but that's fine. Ryan, you ready? Give me a thumbs up when you're good.
I'm just going to join myself. I'm just going to join. I wasn't sure what you were trying to do there.
Well, because our editors like to clip things, so I thought he was going to play it so that, you know what? Anyway, like when we edit it, I thought he was going to clip it. That way we were good, but that's fine. He's smiling in the background. I see.
That's okay.
I should put him up on screen.
He likes to smile a lot. He's actually really sharp at that. If you try to do that, he'll cut his camera. I've tried before. So I'll just take this from here. We're going to move from one Anne-Marie to the next. How about that?
So that's what threw me off, because I was like, oh, we're going to talk to Dr. Anne-Marie Sastry. And then next up, we've got, I was like, wait, why am I being lost here right now? But yes. All right. I'm going to go and wake up a little bit, but you have a great show, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Start your coffee at 5 a.m. like I do. That's my pro tip. Okay. As I mentioned, we're going to move from one Anne-Marie to the next. We're going to bring on Anne-Marie Baiynd. Anne-Marie, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very, very good. I just got to ask you, given our transition there, how many other Anne-Maries do you know?
You know, I only know a few. Apparently, it's a very... the way she spells her name, it's a very Italian name. The way my name is the French version with the E and the hyphen. And so there are a few of them. I meet once in a while they're Irish, once in a while they're Italian, and once in a while they're French. And that's pretty much all of them that do it.
Okay, well, these are the only two I know, so 100% of the time they're awesome, but that's pretty good. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with some of the trades. The first thing that I want to talk about here before we bring up any new trades here is going to be Palantir. And the reason is because I really got to say, I know this isn't over yet, and I want to be very, very careful here that I don't produce an early call that causes everyone to pound their table. But Anne-Marie, your call on Palantir was spectacular. Remember, we talked about that trade right after we got news that they would be joining the S&P 500. And since then, the stock has continued to move up. We got more good news here today. I believe the stock gets actually added next week, which should mean more buying on the backside of that. Really, really great stuff here. I got asked earlier, Daddy Backstrap, if you're still around, I got asked earlier which one I took. I ended up just taking the upside December butterfly. I didn't take a double butterfly, and I gave myself plenty of time, and that thing is cooking. So wanted to give you your flowers there on Palantir.
Thank you so much. And, you know, we also put a strangle up there. And so that is starting to creep along fairly, vertical. Sorry, that upside. Oh, that's what you were talking about. Just the upside vertical?
Yeah, it was a butterfly. It was a 40 here. Let me get you the actual. I have my bro's copy position, which is also rocking. Those are just naked calls. The butterfly was the December expiry. It was the 40, 45, 50.
Ah, gotcha.
So this needs to move. Oh, and this reminds me. Okay, one of the reasons I wanted to bring that up, he asked me earlier, he said, Ryan, if Palantir went to 45 before the December expiry, would you sell? And I said, absolutely. The body is our target, right? Whenever we have these butterflies, when the price moves to the body, that's when we want to sell. It doesn't necessarily... You want it to actually not be at expiry, right? You want that to be before, like as much as possible before expiry. Help me out with this one.
So here's the rub there. As soon as it hits the middle strike, what you want to do is watch. And so depending on the size of the position that you took, you could say, hey, I'm just going to cover half, and I'm going to let it leak into December. And so the ultimate sweet spot is if you got up on the day of expiration and it was $45 exactly.
Okay.
So remember, the tighter we make the spread and what has to happen, the lower probability is that it happens at that exact time. So for instance, for me, I have a very wide butterfly in NVIDIA that doesn't expire until January of 2026. And it's hit my middle strike many times, but I continue to sit on it because I paid $1 for it, and it's going to be worth $20 if I wait. And so right now it's worth about $3. And so I can take it and make that, but I am looking for that huge profit. And as long as the trend doesn't break, you can hang on to parts of the position, and you can hang on to parts. And then if there is a dip, you can add back into that position. When you have a long butterfly, when you have a butterfly that's got a long time, you can trade around it just like you're trading a stock position.
Okay, awesome. Tom, I apologize. I got 2 questions about Palantir and I blended you folks together. It was Tom that asked. Tom, there you go. An answer straight from the pro, not just my own. Really good there. So I actually did take this in a little bit more size than a single. I know when we talk about butterflies, 1 call, 2 1 bought call, 2 sold calls, and then 1 bought call again. I actually took this one in more size on that, so I will be able to sell half of it. And I am going to do your strategy exactly if we do get to 45 prior to December. Tom, this was a great question earlier. Glad I didn't steer you down the wrong path. But Anne-Marie got you to grandma's house right when the cookies came out of the oven. So really good stuff there. One more thing. So
that's awesome.
I don't know if you have ideas prepared here for today, but we have some here from the chat. Alexa, good morning. It's great to see you again. Hopefully your golf game is going well. Any insights on Delta, ticker DAL, or Google GOOGL for option ideas? If you're looking for some new trades to put some options, I say we start with these 2.
Absolutely. That sounds fantastic. So let me show you what we have on the Benzinga Pro platform right now, sitting in the chat there. We do have 2 long call butterfly. We have a long call butterfly and a put butterfly, a long put butterfly, because we did not know whether it was going to break that 50 simple moving average or retrace into that 165. So what we are looking at is something that we paid 54 cents on the call side for. If we go here, we can see that that's not the right number. Is it? Yes, it is. We have the 165, 170, 175 call spread. And that is now at 63. So it's up about 20% so far. The put butterfly is down about 50%. And so what we have to do is say, hey, listen, at my 50% threshold, I have to say to myself, I'm going to manage these and I'm just going to clear the decks. And so that would be out. If you are interested now, take a look at how many converging time frames that say updraft is what Google is saying. First, the weekly, clearly bouncing off the 50. First pass into 165/170 is where we think if price action runs like it should. And then if we go to the daily, we can see that it's got a recovery bounce right off of that 155. That 150 area. So we are trading the bounce and it's moving up into the area. So this particular daily formation says, listen, when it gets to about 165, you might want to consider some profit taking. That's not a bad idea. So the problem there is I like what's happening in the near term here. I am concerned about a stall because we are really sort of getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but we're just going to follow price. So it just suggests the long butterfly is the best one to continue to hold up into the region near 167, where it's got old resistance. So the daily chart shows a little bit of cross current, but once you get to the 4-hour and the 1-hour chart, it really is showing you, hey, listen, these price action events are telling us that the dip is clearly being bought. So in a rare space, since there's so much converging, we can do two things. We can have the call butterfly only that says, listen, we should get to 165, 170, 175 by October. Or we could do a call spread, which costs about 130. The upside is over 100%. It would be almost 200% if the price action goes all the way up to 70. So those would be the two choices. I like them. And I think because we're sitting in trend, we can say, you know what? I can do that. If the pullback becomes savage, let's say tomorrow, everybody's waiting for, is the Fed going to cut rates 25 basis points, 50 basis points? Now they're floating 75 basis points. I have no idea. But what I suspect is that we should have some kind of volatility move on the back of that. And indeed, what I've noticed is, not today. They really are pulling it in. Yesterday, they were buying volatility all day long. Today, they're not. And so this, is it baked in? What's baked in? If it's not baked in, we're going to have ourselves a pretty good size move. So if you have both sides of the butterfly formation, the best thing to do would be wait until after the Fed to decide what you're going to do. So that is the first one.
Okay, now real quickly, when you said wait till after the Fed, do you mean wait to put your orders out there, or do you think having orders out there?
No, I think this is fine. This is certainly fine to have it out prior.
Okay.
I'm saying if you already hold the put side, don't let it go just yet.
Gotcha.
Just in case we get a little wiggle in the market.
Gotcha. That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. Statistically speaking, we are stepping into the worst 2 weeks of performance in the market over a 90-year period, which I find to be very interesting. Now, statistics, as the old coach from the Dallas Cowboys, whose name I can't remember,
Jimmy Johnson.
No, the one before that. Yeah.
Landry?
No, he was for the Jets. Sorry, he was the Jets. He was a big guy.
Rex Ryan.
No, right curly hair, older. I don't even know. I can't think of it. But he would say statistics is for losers. Because he'd stand up there and they'd say, well, the da-da-da-da-da. And he would go, yeah, statistics are for losers. So statistically speaking, however, we do.
Is that Bill Parcells?
Yes.
The tuna. Big tuna.
Listen, if there's one coach that I want to sit down and have a conversation with, it would be him. And there's something about him. I see through all of that crusty outside he's got. The guy's a freaking marshmallow and he's just so crusty on the outside. I'm like, man, would I like to buy you lunch? So
I did not have that on my bingo card for today, but here we are.
Me wanting lunch with Bill Parcells. If you're out there, Bill, totally professional. Just would love to pick your brain about leading people. All right. So that being said, If we know we're coming into two of the worst weeks possible, is it a good idea to go small and keep dry powder in case the fade comes and everything we wanted to buy got really cheap? Then we would be like Buffett, who says, wait a second, you know what? You buy when you wait for that dip and it pulls back for you. So that's my only thought. I say go small size, let these 2 weeks wash out, you know, after September 28th or so, and you know, we'll start putting in more size on our trades.
Okay.
All right, what's the next one?
That one was Google. Let me see what the other
forget
one
what the
she
next one was.
suggested was. That was DAL, ticker DAL,
Yeah.
Delta Airlines.
Yeah, so they had I thought they were dipping this morning. Oh no. Wow. Okay. Obviously news. Obviously this is news. And I only say that because it doesn't really move like this unless there's news. 4-hour formations up, running into resistance.
We
ahead.
got a buy from Evercore, by the way.
Got it.
Delta plus 4% here today. And just in case you're wondering, just to kind of head this off at the pass, we have earnings for Delta unconfirmed for October 10th. So it's going to be right around the end of that first week of October.
Okay. So this one might be a good post-earnings trade. Let's see. 1, 2. Down. Sideways. Sideways. Yeah, this would be a good, I think this is a good post-earnings trade because they do have a tendency to be 50-50 in terms of how they are moving. On top of that, their weekly ATR is only 2. And the entire, look at this thing. I can draw a straight line through 3 years of data, just about. Right? So if I delete this, look at that. Just acceleration right up there into a 121. That's very, very interesting. Look at this. If I draw a box around this, I literally capture almost all the price action for 3 years. So the question is this the beginning of a new upshot? I don't know. They need to, if they hire some good oil traders, might be, but trading oil futures is very often a zero-sum game unless, you know, you're just wicked smart. Wow. This one's hard for me. I would say, hey, listen, it's bullish. You can see it bullish on the weekly. It's coming out of the range. The last 2 times it's come out of the range. Once it stayed out of the range for 3 weeks and then collapsed. Second time it stayed out of the range for 3 weeks and expanded. And it expanded into a resistance area around 50. You know, if I were a betting man, I got to tell you, I would take a short call spread, or I'd take a short put spread in an iron condor kind of formation, right? So that would mean I don't like this chart at all. Vol's not as small as I've seen other vols, but if we get down to where definitively the price action says it could go, let's go to October. I mean, look, if if it went down to 40 and I was trying to sell for premium, I'm only going to collect 30 cents, 26 cents actually. I mean, that spread is almost 25% of the amount that you'd be collecting. So that'd be kind of rough. And then if I choose 50 though, as the top end here, because it's never been above 50, then never. 53. Stayed there for 2 weeks and then rotated over. So if I chose, 52.50 is only going to give me 48 cents. So I don't, in terms of risk to reward, I don't get a ton of premium out of this. I don't have a lot of expanded volatility in this contract. Now, if I went to November and I said, all right, let me sell the 52.50s, and I'll sell the 40. Let's look at the chart again. Where should we bounce? We should bounce about 40. All right. So we sell the 40. Oh, wow. 55 cents. So we have the risk already set up. So it's not that big of a deal. We get $1, which is almost half. Notice on the put side, it's a little bit wider. So it would be an unbalanced iron condor, but we still get $1 of credit. And this actually might be a chart that you just wash, rinse, repeat. You know, if you sit down and you go, all right, what is my trading style? Do I like to look for things that I don't have to wake up in a cold sweat on because it might have moved 15% overnight in the wrong direction, or 50%, right? If you have a more even keel personality, I say, start going through a scan of stocks, put up the weekly and just stare at it and go range, not range. I'm not looking at it. Range, write it down. Range, write it down. Not range, not range. And then you can go, all right, let me look at the edges of those ranges and what the volatility might look like for me to position. And then you just sell iron condors your whole business life because that's just your wheelhouse. You become master and commander of that wheelhouse. So I don't have a ton of faith in this one continuing to move up, but hey, I don't trade Delta that often. You might go, no, it's different. I know what's going on in here. Then absolutely, you can say to yourself, all right, earnings just around the corner. If it comes in on the 9th, you're only going to give yourself 9 days if you take it on the 18th. And so it's going to be a little bit more expensive. But if it goes to 50 and, you know, your strike is having a butterfly that's only 2.5 points wide is kind of rough. You could also do something, you could do a vertical, 82 cents. You could do something called a back ratio, which buys 1 and sells 2 out of the money. And it opens up, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just clearing my.
Yeah, it opens up a little bit of risk because you've got a naked call. And if you don't like that naked call there, of course, you can turn it into a butterfly by adding another leg on there. So, and you could do both because one is neutral. It gives you a credit. The other one is, well, yeah, because that one's November. Yeah, you could easily do this. If this one was in November, what would it cost? Yeah, more expensive. So, yeah, those are the 2 choices. I know I sort of hummed and hawed around that a lot, but
That's what we're trying to try to bring you more that are going to try and stump you. That's how we all get better here. So,
well, the thing about trading is that you do have to think it through.
Absolutely. And not, I mean, sometimes like I'll end up trading something I didn't think I was going to trade that particular day. You just got to hand what the market gives you. Alexa, we appreciate that. Did you have one that you wanted to go over? We do have I know we got 2 minutes here.
2 minutes. Yeah. Super fast. Let's go to this, the TLT.
And while she's pulling this up, RS, we'll do JPM on Friday. Stick around. We'll add JPM to the list for are you available on Friday?
Of course.
For the show? Yeah, as am I. So I was off last Friday. That's why I asked that. Sorry about that. We'll do JPM on Friday. Be sure to come back here. But go ahead with that TLT.
Yeah, help me remember that we're doing JPM.
I will.
Okay.
It's on my note sheet.
So we have the Fed coming out saying a lot of things. The TLT, these are the bonds. Bonds rise when yields fall. They're planning on the yield falling. Everyone is saying, you know what? 25 basis points could be baked in, right? This could absolutely stay right where it is. This expires on Friday, September the 20th. We bought it for 16 cents and it's 17 cents. So you can still get involved if it's something that you choose to do. But here is what we are thinking. We're thinking the move, if it surprises, is going to rocket up tomorrow afternoon. And so we're going to try and get out of these right after the event, right? Mm-hmm. Right after the event, sometime towards there. If it gets to 104, we're going to be up about, I don't know, I would say 400%. It'll be worth about, maybe 50, 60 cents, mm-hmm. something like that. If they surprise, then it's going to fade. And so I have both sides. Now, if you think that they surprise by cutting more, you can take a directional trade and you can go to your 103s or, let's go to September. You can go to your 103s. And you can buy them for 15 cents. That's your one directional way. Hey, listen, they're going to surprise to the size of the upside, and that's going to push us into this 104 area. This is actually where I think we ought to be going. Now, if it doesn't, it could easily give back. These things sometimes have ranges that are $2 wide. So it could really move one way or another. So I like this trade. It's very cheap. You don't want to bet the farm. Very cheap trades mean they're low probability. And when they're low probability, there's the chance that they are going to take everything that you've got. Okay. But I like this trade. I do. I like it. And because it's only got a few days, it really is something that is strike. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Or strike. And if it does work, then you get out. You get out quickly.
And you go finish that up and have yourself a steak dinner that night. So, okay. Yeah. That is awesome. Actually, I might look into this myself for tomorrow. We'll see what kind of action we get. Anne-Marie, thanks so much. I know we went a minute over here, but we actually have nothing on the backside here. So we were okay with that. Really, really appreciate that. Again, we will cover JPM on Friday. Anne-Marie, have a great rest of your day. All right.
You too, sir.
All right, everybody. Take care. Anne-Marie, she is amazing, isn't she? I agree, Tom. I agree. So thanks, everybody. We're going to be back here tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Stay green. Stay safe. Tomorrow's Fed Day.